It's Freedom Friday, where we highlight an overcomer of addiction. His name may remind you of a 90s rock icon or a legendary race car driver, but Randall Petty says what he wants you to remember about him is what he says God brought him through.
Just going through the health issues I've had recently, being told by 3 different doctors that I should have already been dead, that I should have never made it to the hospital.
Before his health crisis, Randall Petty did a little bit of everything. He plays several instruments, sings.
I've opened for Molly Hatchet 38 Special.
He would ride his motorcycle. Years of working with HVAC would lead to serious damage to his lungs that would almost end his life.
He kept me here for a reason.
For him, it signaled the start of something new.
It really just opened my eyes a little bit. And I think this ministry that we're starting is something I don't want to do for 5 years. But I've kind of just put it on the back burner. And I think now with everything God's done in my life and opened me up, He got me the training I needed, got me the strength that I needed, and the courage that I needed to step out and tell my story.
He says he's a preacher that looks different than most, with a life history to match.
My dad passed away suddenly. He had a cardiac aneurysm, and the left side of his heart blew up. So I really, at that point, felt like I'd been robbed.
He says this led him to drinking and eventually using all kinds of drugs after DJing at a bar and selling the same drugs he would use. Now he says he's the boss over his life.
Not a single one of those bottles in there can wake me up at night and tell me, you need to get drunk tonight.
He says after serving time and leaving a biker gang, he got special training and started Lost Ones Ministries to send a message to anyone who thinks they are too unclean to get to a sober life.
I was not clean when Jesus came to me. I wasn't a clean dude. I was in the worst of my life. I was fighting addictions of all kinds. And He said, you know what? I can help you with that. Here I am today.
He invites anyone struggling with addiction to reach out to him.
I hear people all the time talk about the world would be a better place if we just loved each other more. That's not it. It's we need to love each other more like Jesus loved us. Then the world would be a better place.
I'll put more about Lost Ones Ministries on WJHG.com and our social media pages. We'll see you back here next week for Freedom Friday on News Channel 7 at 5:30.